Okay, I'm hitting record. I hope this works.
Okay.
Never recorded before. Okay, so I hope that this is going to give you guys some value. I've been thinking about it a lot for the last month or so, and I think one of the things that I wasn't sure if this was right or not, but I just listened to that 500 PV video, and I'm just really sure this is the right way of building this business. And so the biggest thing is to be the turtle. Don't be the hare. I feel like everybody, I feel like that's the wrong message that gets kind of shot out at people, like race. I don't think that's the right thing to do. I think you need to build a solid customer base with people where you've really done that job well. Because if you are just trying to run through people, you're just going to be like on a hamster wheel. It's just going to be like you're running in place. You're not going to get anywhere. So your job is to do a really good job with the people that trust you. And one of those things that I think has also been a wrong message has been to tell people that Challenge Pack is the only answer, and Challenge Pack is not the only answer. And I thought that for the longest time. I was convinced that because I wanted to hit Success Club. So I wanted to sell the Challenge Pack to hit Success Club, and then I hoped that they would stay on Shakeology. And it was kind of almost to the negative of the relationship with that person, if that makes sense. And I feel like the relationship with that person has to take precedence over a Challenge Pack. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
So I feel like there was a shift in my mindset the last couple of months, which is funny because I hadn't even seen this 500 PV thing until this weekend, where I was letting people into our challenge group that hadn't bought a Challenge Pack, and I hadn't done that before, because I was very skeptical about doing that. I was they're going to come in, they're not going to do a program, and then they're going to just be a negative vibe in the group. And what ended up happening is that I got them in with the 2-week free trial. They saw other people doing it, and they saw what we were about. They saw the positivity in the group, because we have a fair number of people participating, which I can talk about how I think that came about too. And Mary could definitely talk about that too. But we have a fair number of people that have been participating. And so bringing people in, they saw that, and then they wanted to stay with our culture. They wanted to stay with us. I don't even think that they necessarily, it was even about Shakeology. It was just that they wanted our support. And so when I was listening to that 500 PV talk, that was the thing. That was the thing that started all of this, was people feeling like they had somebody to work out with. They were doing all these tests and trying to figure out, we have this good product. The people that are buying it, what's happening? Half the people aren't even putting it in their DVD player. The other half, there's a small group of people that did and got results. And what was the missing link? The missing link was that they had somebody to do it with. So that's when they started thinking oh, so that's what the problem is that people do things when they are doing it with other people. Like Kara and I, we were trying to get each other up at 5 a.m. this last week. And the only reason that I got up at 5 a.m. one of the mornings was because of her. That was the only reason I got up at 5 a.m. So it's there is something to it. There is something to buddying up with people that have the same goal as you. So that's the model that this is about. It's about creating an atmosphere of support where people want to be in with you. They want to be in your group. And it doesn't so we have people in there that are telling me, they're so excited, and now they're seeing all the results of all these people now, which it's been insane, right? It's been our group is I don't even know what's happening. I'm it's been one person after another. I lost 15 pounds. I'm what is going on? And I think it's just that it's not about us. It's not about what I'm doing. It's not about, what Mary and Melissa and it's not what any of us are doing. They just feel like they have a community now. They feel like they have, so that's your goal, and it can't be, I need to find 50 people. That's you can't do that with 50 people. You have to kind of start small. You have to be solid with a few people and then build from there. Because if you do a really good job with a few people, from there, that's how your business grows. Is that making sense so far? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kara, mention about how the guy that you were talking about that said that he started just from 5 people.
Yeah. The when I was on the way back from Summit, I was at the airport, and his name is Tommy Migrant. I don't know if any of you guys know who that is. Tommy Migrant was one of the original Beachbody coaches. He was a top 10 coach for a few years. He won the Beachbody Challenge. That's $100,000, where he had the best transformation for the guys for that, or he got voted and he got the 100,000. And then it kind of like launched him, because people were like, how'd you get those results? How'd you, and so he helped, and he told me like he initially didn't want to get paid for it, which was sort of my feeling originally, because I did this and I felt like, oh my gosh, like this works. I want like everybody to do this, and I kind of didn't feel like I wanted to get paid. Like, it didn't feel good. Like, it was like, but it feels confusing. Like, how do I be your friend and then I'm getting paid to help you? It just felt weird. So I told him how I was always trying to get my commission back, because I just didn't want anybody to question it. And he laughed and he said that's exactly what he did. And that what happened is he helped like 4 or 5 people initially get awesome results. And those people had teams, and that's how it started for him. That's really what it came down to. He said it was just like helping those few people get amazing results that made and love Beachbody, really like get into the team culture, and they really wanted to be a part of this. That's why he made the money that he's made. And he's, a millionaire, obviously. He was one of the original people. So, and I'm sure not all the original people are millionaires, but he definitely was. Because I asked him, I was like, first I didn't know. I'm like talking to this guy. I'm like, why are you asking me questions about volume? I don't even know who you are. And then he's like, I'm like, oh, are you like a top coach or something? Like, I don't even know who you are. I've never even seen you. And he's like, yeah, kind of. And so then he told me his name. I was like, I still don't know who you are. I'm like, I'll have to look you up. And then I looked him up later, and he's got like 1 million YouTube videos, and yeah, he's got all these pictures with like Carl, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But he just like sat next to me and started talking to me, which I took as like a sign from God, like, because I was definitely in a low point, and this guy came and sat next to me and started telling me, oh yeah, you've got this. But he's a nice guy.
That's awesome though.
It was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to give you a different perspective, so instead of thinking about selling challenge packs, this 500 PV thing, which I didn't really understand, because again, I didn't really want to understand the money, but so 500 PV is like what you sell to customers. And if you sign somebody up as a coach, that's no longer going to be your PV. So like, I don't get PV when Sarah buys stuff. Like, I don't get any personal volume off of that. There's team volume, and there's, there's volume that happens, but that's not your PV. So they say to be a 500 PV coach, instead of focusing on necessarily Success Club. Now that can happen the same, because you can sell 3 challenge packs and you get 135 for each of them. So you can sell 3 challenge packs and have, over 400 in PV. And so what they were saying in this video was like, there's different ways. Like, it doesn't have to just be challenge packs. It can be, that you got somebody to do a 3-day refresh. It could be that you got somebody to, and you could just think like maybe a person, because like I have somebody in our group right now, she's not on Shakeology. She happens to have On Demand. She totally bought it on her own, even though I'm like, did you not know that I was doing this? So like, she had On Demand, and she decided to do the 3-day refresh. So then I got, like 50 or 60 PV for it, and I because I wasn't even paying attention or understanding that. Now I'm like looking back and I'm thinking like, those are good things. Those are good things to have. So you don't need every person to turn into a coach. You need people that would be like you want to build a tribe. You want it to be people like you. You don't want to build a tribe with people just because you think like maybe they might be good at something. You know what I mean? Like, you want people that you want to hang out with. Like, you want people to do this with, to build the culture that you like, to build, like who you are. Like, and that's why the whole Facebook post is important, because you're putting yourself out there to find the people that you like and the people you want to do this with, because everybody needs health and fitness. There's not anybody out there that doesn't need this. So connecting to people on that personal level and buddying up with them, that's how this whole thing works. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, okay. So this thing was saying like, what happens is people focus on getting to diamond, and that's not a good focus. And that was my focus, because I didn't know anything else. So I just knew that's what I have to do to get to Diamond. I'm going to get to Diamond because I want to go on this retreat that Tara's hosting. That's all I thought. So I focused on getting to Diamond. Does everybody in here know what getting to Diamond looks like? Do you know what that means? Marilyn, you might not. Marilyn, it's okay.
Well, I mean, I've watched a lot of the different things. I watched the training on the structuring of how that works. Now, actually understanding all of that is a different thing because, like I said, there's so much jargon. There's all these little, I mean, it's a very confusing structure. They definitely could make it easier.
Very true.
Which I'm wondering if that's kind
Can you
of part
guys
of
see
it.
this whiteboard?
Yes.
Okay.
Get all smart board
Look
on
at
us,
you,
Sarah.
fancy pants over there.
What type of laptop does Jacob have? Does he have a Surface?
I don't
I
know.
know.
I was like,
She just busts out the whiteboard.
I know.
I can draw.
You
Can I see
Okay,
my
so-
whiteboard?
Kara, were you secretly really excited to do that?
Yes.
Are you gonna go flowchart next?
I was like, oh, this is so cool. I'm going to draw.
I knew it.
Okay, so you're at the top, okay? So this is like, look, I'm going to
Sorry.
be writing. It's going to be terrible because I'm doing it with my finger. I wonder if this pen will work. Jacob, you don't have a good pen for this, do you? Not responding to me. Okay, I'm just going to
The eraser of a pencil.
I was gonna say an eraser works.
Oh,
The eraser works. Okay, so off
Yeah, you do.
of you, you have two legs. You have a left leg and a right leg. One of those legs is considered your strong leg. That should be the leg where you're getting coaches that you didn't place. So like Megan, for example, I believe you're on Sarah's strong leg, I think. Sarah, I don't know if that's right or not. So you should have people that Sarah places on her whatever leg is attached to yours. Like you should have a couple of coaches somewhere that are not yours, that you didn't place, that you didn't personally sponsor, but they're still in your like downline. So like if you go into the back office and look at genealogy, like I know Marilyn, you looked and you were like, oh, who are these people? And it's like, because they're somebody that somebody else placed above you. So you can have coaches on a leg that you didn't place, but that's not how you get to Diamond. How you get to Diamond is only personally sponsored. You need to have okay, you need to have 4 spots filled on each side, okay, by personally sponsored coaches. And you need 2 of those, 1 on each side, to go to Emerald, meaning that they got 2 coaches, one on each side. So, and how I got to Diamond was before I had Sarah, before I even had a working coach. So this was just me just trying to like figure out how to get to Diamond and how to run this business and have it be something. What I did was I had my mom on my strong leg and I had Jacob on my weak leg. And then I got off of my mom, I had my dad. And then I had to fill the other spot with 1 person. So basically what I had to do was fill that other spot on my mom's, fill Jacob's spots, and then 6 other coaches. So you basically need 12 to be Diamond, because you need 4 on your left leg and a right leg, and you need each one of those to be an Emerald coach. Does that make sense?
Okay, wait.
Coaches.
Say that last part again.
So you need 4 on each side.
Right.
And you need one of those on each of your sides to go to Emerald, meaning that they have 2.
So that would be like Jacob and your mom?
So I put 2 people under my mom and I put 2 people under Jacob.
Right.
So,
okay.
So I had to have 12 coaches. I had to have 12 discount coaches to get to Diamond. But when you do that, you're not making any more money. It's not like it's like this huge pay increase. The pay increase is with working coaches. There is no way to get around that. Like you could, I mean, if you just keep signing up discount coaches, you're not going to see that. It really only happens with working coaches. So what this 500 PV video was like, screw the rank. Like basically, like, yes, get to Diamond, sure. But do it with getting Emerald. Like get Emerald coaches, like get people. So, and the way that you do that is by getting people excited, to be in the group, getting people excited to be a challenger, loving the Beachbody products, like not like feeling like they're getting their needs met. Then they're thinking like, boy, I kind of want to pay this forward. other people. And so you need coaches. Like that's your goal. And if all of us work on that, we as a group, we as a tribe, like we will grow faster and faster because we will pick up momentum because people will see us as a united group of people that are like taking off. Because I really firmly believe that that's what's happening with the Fitzpatricks in Canada. Like, I just think that they are just like, it's like a rolling ball at this point. Like, they are just picking up people left and right. Like, he already has like a UK team, like of like more than one person. It's not like just like a person that he's pulled into a Facebook group. Like they've got a team of people out there already.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I've heard that they work a lot. I heard it's nonstop. So, okay. So your goal, instead of focusing on the diamond rank, you need to understand the diamond rank, but instead of focusing on it, your goal is to make emeralds. And of course that's easier than it sounds, but if you can figure out how to make yourself emeralds, then you can pass that information on to other people. So you have to figure out, how do I make myself an emerald? Then you can help other people do that, and that's the duplication. Because anything that you do, you need to be able to duplicate it, because that's how you build a successful tribe.
Yeah, like you and I were talking about, thinking about yourself as a new coach, what it is that you needed at that time, so you can pass that on when somebody else becomes a coach.
Right. And try to make it as simple as possible. And I really think it just comes down to the 4 vital behaviors still. Like, I still think that those are the most important things. Like, if you're not number one, doing a program that you love, or doing something that's in the Beachbody catalog that you love, if you're not doing that, like, you have to. How can you sell something you don't like? Like, I mean, and basically this is still sales. Like, you can't convince anybody to do something that you don't like. Like, you have to find something that speaks to you, that you love doing, because then it's easy to share. And then the other thing is, of course, the PD, because if you have a negative mindset when you're talking to people, or if you assume, like, one, you can't think that when somebody says no to you, you can't think that it's about you personally. And I feel like PD is what helps with that, getting that mindset of like I am not doing anything wrong by offering to help somebody. If they don't want my help, that's okay. It's not a reflection of me. Like, it doesn't mean that. Like, now you just keep building that relationship with that person.
And the PD helps give you the confidence.
It does.
To
It
reach
gives you
out.
confidence, and it helps you to handle those thoughts when you start thinking like, oh my gosh, I suck. Why is this happening? It helps you to handle those things. Like, the 5-second rule was like huge, like in Jim Rohn, like for me, like, I mean, and you need it every day. It is not like, this was something that, I went to Super Saturday in New York, and Vitas was talking there, and he said this, and I just thought it was funny. Like, he said, you can't get clean from yesterday's shower. Like, your workout yesterday helped you yesterday, doesn't help you today. Your PD yesterday helped you yesterday, doesn't help you today. Like, you need constant. It's got to be continual. And when you have those things, then it's really easy to help other people. You can't help other people if you're not in that position. So, okay, so she Marilyn, what did she call it? It's like the healthy formula.
Oh, yeah, the healthy formula was, what's your favorite way to get exercise?
Yep, these are the questions to ask people.
Yeah, how's your nutrition or diet been? And do you have a buddy or support system? So it's kind of like coming back to those 3 core things. And even like, as I've started to, because it came out just yesterday, just last night. And I've been doing my posts, and as I'm planning them, I'm structuring everything around those 3 things to get people in, I guess, because not everybody needs everything. Some people think, oh no, my nutrition's fine, or oh no, I already go to the gym, but they could be missing one of those little things. Or it's also a holistic approach, and looking at, the holistic person and kind of structuring it that way. So when I'm thinking about my group, everything is kind of centered around those 3 things.
Yep.
What were they
because
again?
that's what it is. So it's,
Go ahead.
what's your favorite way to get exercise? These are just questions just to kind of think you're.
These are all in that 500 PV video if you didn't watch it.
Yeah, so it's like
haven't had a
basically it
chance.
boils down to fitness, nutrition, support. That's kind of the way that I've been thinking about it. is like it's looking at your fitness, it's looking at your nutrition, and it's looking at the support that you have. And those are the three essential things that people need to make the changes, you know, that they want, basically.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. And it's kind of staying
I have to
focused.
go. I don't want to interrupt, but I have to go. I just wanted to say
Oh,
bye.
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 And then it's also asking, the other thing that she said is, are you open to trying something? And so, you know, like she was talking about, you know, if somebody does CrossFit, okay, that's fine. You're not shut down. There's other things that Beachbody can offer in terms of product line. If somebody's on the paleo diet, okay, well, you're not shut down there because, you know, so there's always some way. And even if people, you know, like for me, like I have my nutrition and my fitness pretty down, but having the support to keep going on those days when you just want to give up, you know, that's still needed, you know, and because it's like a constant journey, you know, and so people will always need one of those three things at least, is kind of what the focus of it was.
Yep. And so
Yeah.
basically that's the questions that you would ask a potential customer.
Yeah, so that was number one. That was the first. I don't know if she called them options or what she called them. And then the second one was the challenge packs, and the third was friends and family to try products and give feedback. She gave, like, remember she gave those three things to try.
Those were her ideas. Those are her ideas to increase.
Yeah.
Ideas to
Yeah.
increase volume. They were all
Right.
ideas to increase to get to 500 PV, like how to do
Yeah.
it. Because challenge packs will get you there too.
Right.
And then she said that, you know, you could reach out to friends and family and be like, hey, you know, I've noticed that you were thinking about doing Rodan and Fields. Why don't you try this instead? It would help me out and whatever, you know, like try the Durham exclusive. Or like, hey, I've noticed that you're going to be going to, you know, you're going to do a 5K. Would you be willing to try Hydrate and like get that instead of Gatorade this month? Things that you could do to like, just kind of ask them, would you be willing to do that? It would help me out, like, you know. And so she said reach out to friends and families and you can get to the 500 PV that way, and to teach your coaches to do that too. So everything is about duplication, because the more you get it down the line, that's how it's going to increase. Because it can't just be like us working, it's got to be us helping coaches to help coaches to help coaches all the way down, because like that's really where the multiplying happens. And I was thinking about this, and like, again, I think those people that are hitting those huge Success Club numbers, I don't know if that means anything. I really don't. I think that means that they were good at that sales process up front, but there's a whole other process that comes after that. So I think, like, yes, you know, you can get them started with a challenge pack, but that's the beginning. So like, I never saw that $40 commission as the thing to hold on to. Like it was never the thing that I was like, oh, that's where the money is. Like, I've got my $40, yay. Like, I just never saw that. I knew my goal was to get them to get results so that they would want to do this too. Like, that was always my goal. In the beginning, I think I lacked confidence, like totally lacked confidence that I could even do that. And get anybody to want to do it too. So I think, though, that the people that have been the best have been people that were friends, like friends and family. I think even in like Kara's group, like, I mean, your aunt and your cousin, and like, I think those are the people that are more likely to not in every case, obviously there's family disputes and things, but I think that there's people out there that will support you and would be willing to do this with you if you ask. And I really think that that's how you create a tribe, because they're going to be your people, you know, like, you want it to be your people. And you want them to find their people, you know what I mean? Like, so you just want everybody to just we have to just get really good at that duplicating and getting people to do the same. And even like, telling somebody to become a diamond coach is way too stressful. That's overwhelming. So just teaching somebody to become an emerald coach, that's way more doable. And it's way more like, oh, I could do that. Like, I could find 2 people that would want to do this with me. You know, like, that's something that's duplicatable, I think. And so if you can get that and they get confidence from that, and you're in a group together and everybody's supporting each other, and then you're able to just keep it going, that's where I think the magic is. Okay, what else? So she did suggest kind of like a plan with like a free group, a challenge group, and just try, you know, kind of keeping like, it's almost like what's that called? The funnel. So she did say, you know, like to keep running free groups. I really see free groups as this. It's just a way to be able to talk to somebody, because it doesn't have to be an awesome free group. If you are having a conversation with them outside of it because you invited them into the free group, that's it. That's all it is, you know? We have 10 more minutes. So I see free groups as like just a way to invite somebody, because I can invite somebody to something that's free all day long. So if I get somebody that replies and then wants to talk to me, like that's where it starts, you know? And you never know, like you never know what person is going to be ready. But I definitely don't think you need to bring on like 10 people a month or anything like that. I really think you need to do a really good job with a smaller number of people. Like that's what I've always thought from the beginning, but I wasn't like convinced. I wasn't really sure if I was right. But I can tell you guys, like how we are doing as a group is far better than most of the groups out there. Because I've talked to enough coaches at this point. Like I've talked to enough people in our tribe, enough people on like this, like out there, like at Summit, at the Super Saturdays, like what we have is not common. Like, so the fact that we have this many people that are interested in doing it and we all are talking to each other, that's a really big thing in our favor. So, I mean, I really think like that we could explode and that it could happen. We just have to get good at the duplication, like good at like getting people to just want to become an Emerald coach. So not everybody should be an Emerald coach. I'm not saying like every single person that's a discount coach under you should become an Emerald coach. But there are probably people that just needed a little bit of confidence boost. They just need to know that you see something in them, because sometimes that's all it is. Like in just having you say that to them could be enough for them to be like, yeah, maybe I could do that. I do like helping people. I do like these products. I do like this program. So it could just be as easy as that. And I never wanted to do it before because I just didn't want to put pressure on them. But saying to somebody, I think you'd be good at this, is not that's all it is. It's a compliment. And then that's it. Like, you're not saying, I want you to do this. If you don't do this, we're not gonna be friends anymore. Like, you're just saying, I think you'd be good at it. And like, that's it, you know?
Well, Kara, that's what it was for me. You kept telling me that, and I was like, no, I couldn't, you know, because I was doing something totally different. And then I started doing Beachbody, and then I was like, oh, well, this stuff is like really amazing. And I was like, you know what? I actually do like helping people. And you know what? I am pretty kick-ass. I think I'm going to do this, you know? And that was exactly what it was for me. I was like, no, I can do this, you know? And you kind of realize, you get that confidence, and you realize like, no, I actually do know what I'm doing. Because it's that constant thing where you tell yourself that you're not good enough. You don't know what you're doing. You're not far enough along in your journey. Forget that. If you've even started on your journey, you're further along than some people, you know?
Now you
so
have to
it's like
that. Now you have to do it and say that to other people, because other people are going to say the same thing to you. Like, no, you know, like, I'm not ready yet. Like, and that's what it is.
But I know how to get them. That's the thing. I know what to say to get them. That's the difference.
I really think that again, the key is to have that culture. So create your culture, like in your group, have a culture. And I personally think a culture of like getting results is the best one, because that's really what this should be for. So, you know, whatever that looks like for you. I was very like very hard on people up until the last like 2 months. Mary's like, Mary doesn't want to say anything. She's like, yeah, I didn't really want to work with Kara anymore. I was very hard on people, and I think, and I heard Mary say it enough times that it finally sunk in that this was people's journey, and like sometimes people aren't ready to give up their McDonald's, right? Because we had people checking in with McDonald's, and I was like, what the heck? Like, why are they checking in? Sometimes people aren't ready. But if you create a culture where it's like we're all always striving to improve, and we're always striving to get better, and maybe you're at a different point in your journey, and that's okay. We're just going to keep supporting you. I feel like that's why people are being successful, because I kind of laid off the perfectionist like side of me and like said like, okay, let's just do this one day at a time and see what happens. So I think like having the culture of the group being really accepting and caring and supportive makes a huge difference. Let's see. Did you guys, I listened to this and I didn't know about this until I watched that video. Have you guys heard of the Ultimate Reset Trio? I
saw it on the thing, but I had never heard of it.
And And I mean, I'm guessing it's got to be like the greens, that Power Greens, or not Power Greens. It's like there's some green shot that they do in the Ultimate Reset. I know there's like that, and there's another thing that they have to do, but it's some kind of an Ultimate Reset trio that's supposed to help people with digestive problems. Like, and we sell that, and it's like $90. But if you know somebody that has like digestive issues, so I don't know, I just thought I'd share that because I'd never heard of it before I watched that video. So now I got to go look it up and see exactly what it is. So another tip that she said was to do videos, to do like 3-minute videos of results of people, and then have like a kind of like gather those all together. Like, so like I would go live for 3 minutes, like, and talk about, you know, so-and-so was like this, and then this happened, and then that, you know, and just explain somebody's results. Like here you could talk about Maureen, like, you know what I mean? Like you could just share results. And so if we had like a collection of all of them, we would be able to say, hey, like, go listen to this story, you know, like you can hear about these products now. So I think that's kind of what Tara was doing last week, sort of, with that Healthy Home group, because like each day was somebody talking about different products. So it was sort of like that. Okay.
Do you know if we're allowed to use those videos from that group at all? Yeah, okay.
So I don't know if you guys want to do like a 500 PV accountability group or not. I don't want to put pressure on people to hit 500 PV, but I don't know if that's something that would help or if that would be something that would stress people out. Like to have that be your focus and understand where to look to know where you're at for PV. Like I didn't even know where to look until this week. So, because I just wasn't.
Some of you guys hit it pretty regularly. Depends on how many customers you have underneath you that are active that month, usually. Because if you have a lot of coaches, it's harder to hit it because they take their own PV. So if you have more customers, then it's easier, actually.
Success Club. Success Club will help you get there.
Right. That's the other way.
So I don't know if that's something, but I don't want it to be like a stressful thing. I would want it to be like so you understand where your money is coming from. You know what I mean? Like it'd be more like that. So that was a suggestion she had, was you could do like a contest of hitting 500 PV and like a raffle prize kind of thing for people that hit it, or just like a support group, accountability group for it, something like that too. And I think that's pretty much everything. Are you guys going to do that shake group? That was another suggestion they had for the volume.
What's the shake group?
Where you buy packets under your spouse and then you sell them.
Yeah.
Because that gets your volume up too. But I don't see how that would it wouldn't get your PV up though. That would just get your team volume up, right, Sarah?
I mean, if you buy it under your spouse, that's going to up his volume.
But it's not going to do it's not going to,
He's the coach.
it won't be your PV though, right?
It wouldn't be your personal volume. PV is personal volume.
Right.
So that would be his personal volume. But it would be, but I mean, you do get paid off of what he makes as well.
Right.
But you can also have them sign on with you as a customer and then order the sampler pack, which is, I'm not sure what they've done with it now, because we have a sampler pack that's, instead of being 7 like it was, isn't it 5 now?
5 and 4.
Regular, and then 4 vegan.
Yep.
So, I mean, you could have them order both, because honestly, even both together isn't that expensive. And they could literally.
That would help your PV. I'll have to add.
Because they'd be a customer, so anything that they ordered would be, down in your downline. Because really, volume further down is better too, because it has basically more time to multiply before it gets back up to you, type of thing.
See, and this is where I get lost. This is where I'm like, and I'm checked out. I'm done.
Don't worry about it. Same with me, and I've been doing this a year, so
yeah.
Don't worry.
Pretty much. I mean, it's not dollar for dollar, but like I think Shakeology has 90 PV because the value of it is it's a little better than $90, but I think that's probably, after all the commissions are paid out, that's probably the value of it for them, and that's why we get the 90 PV on it.
Okay, because I was wondering, I was like, a challenge pack is $160, but then your personal PV is $135.